uh, I finished my sermon Friday night, but the preachers know him. God's always have something else to tell you. And the sermons today, when they talk about the love that we need to have to our church. If you need a title to this sermon, you can call "I Love My Church." And the beginning of the sermon was another thing, but for some reason, God gave me the prodigal son history for us for many times this morning. And after a while, thinking about prodigal son history, I really realized that, yes, I identified with him when we talk about our church. Because the prodigal son has two stages in his history. The first stage was when the prodigal son was in his house with his father, with his brother. We don't know if he has a mother or not, or sister or not, but he was living in his house, and he has a very high-level critical mind. In those moments when every single thing can be better. You can feel that you have problem with this, or with this one, or with this one, and you feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Okay, I'm still learning. That's good. So, and you feel, okay, this my house needs to be better. You begin to make comparisons with other houses and see, oh, that house, the mama looks very, happy, or there is more variety, ¿saben decir? Variedad. The variety, eso. And so, you had a very high level critical mind, and you begin to criticize whatever you hear, whatever you feel. This is too hot, too cold, too long, too short. Okay, this is our house. It's not bad, It's our house, so we can just be like we are in our house. This is the second stage, is when you are far away of your house, and you begin to recognize how values your house. Oh, my house, the smell of my house, that place where I sit. Oh, where my mama make that homemade cornbread, or when you begin to see these little things that maybe you don't see when you live in your house. It's the same thing in our church. As a member of our church, this is the same thing. This is the same stage. There's a stage when you are here and you are saying, oh, Pastor David preached so long. Oh, Christian is so brown. or the musician, why they don't sing another thing? There is always a criticism mind when we are in our church. And we always find something that we can develop, or we want to see better. But there is another stage in our relationship with our church. It's when we are far away, or we are going to taste others' flavors. And you say, okay, oh, my church, I really miss my church. Oh, that part of my church. The problem is not to have a critical mind. The problem is that our critical mind, we had an inclination not to serve, only to complain. That is the problem in our relationship with our church. When we put our inclination go to complain and not to serve, there is a beginning or something really bad in our church. So, I don't know which part of this stage you are. In the part where you have problem with somebody, and you have problem with somebody else, and the music is so loud, or the sermon is so long, or this is not. And maybe you are in that part of your relationship with your church. Or maybe you are in the another part, when you maybe take a sabbatical, and you begin to feel, okay, my church, my pastor, the singers, or my friends, my family. So I don't know in which specific stage you are. But anyway, what I think that Jesus, I hear for many times about, okay, Jesus Church, Jesus Christ Church, is not a church that a man can build. And I know that. But for some reason, you can see in the New Testament different occasions, many situations, many places where Jesus and later the disciples, they make their best to build very good quality community of faith communities. And there is many churches in the Bible that you can just choose one and begin to make a list of good things, and you have to just follow their steps and learn about those churches. There is two churches that always impact my life in the Bible. The first church that really blessed my life as a pastor, as a member, as a leader, is the Antioch church. I already preached about that church 2 Wednesdays ago. And if I had to say something just little about the Antioch church, I will say, how can a church so different between them can be so unit, so one? There is people from, Africa, Simon Niger, people from Roma, people from the youth, rich, poor, smart, different people can be just one powerful church. They were so one that the people in the city began to call them for the first time Christians, because they just looked like Christ. This is a powerful church. Another church that really blessed my life and really blessed me is the Church of Philadelphia. It's okay to say Philadelphia? In the Revelation chapter 3, you can see how beautiful this church was. It's a church full of grace. It's a church full of mercy. But also, it's a church that in the middle of the tremendous tribulation never give up. So, Philadelphia's church and Antioch church, that's really amazing churches. Of course, we can see churches around our town, maybe around our country, okay, maybe around our world. We can just choose thousands of churches to learn about them, good churches. But you know what? I don't pretend to have the reason. So I only say, thanks God for giving me this opportunity to speak with you. But you take whatever you want to take and go home, and with your heart, your spirit, in your relationship with God, you'll be blessed, or take off what you say. But for some reason, in my heart, I believe that when I had my encounter with Jesus, when I will have my encounter with Jesus, He will not ask to me about how many good churches do you know, how many things do you learn about to be a good church, how many good opinions do you have for your church. I think the first and only thing that He will ask me about this is how much you love your church. This is what I feel. And, I have to love my church. If I only see Peter, Paul, James' history, I can just see in their life how much they love their churches. But you know what? As a preacher, with a common sense Christian here, I can say, okay, you have to love your church. That have to be enough. That you can just begin to love your church and show how much you love your church. But we are in a different world. We're in a world when you have to sell every product. Even the good thing, you have to sell it. Okay, you need to take these vitamins. It's good for your health. It's good for you. It's good for your family. So give you more life, very good quality of life. It's good for you. We need to sell it. Because if you don't sell it, nobody buy that. You understand me? Even if I say today, you have to go and love your church and show how much you love your church, and every single day of your life, maybe you will go, okay, we have to love our church, and that's it. So for that reason, because we're in a world that we need to sell a product, I want to give you today 3 reasons because you and I, we have to love our church. And I say again, I'm not speaking about only about this building. I'm speaking about this faith community or community of faith. You understand me? So, the first reason that I have to love my church is because it's a powerful institution. If you read the early church history, you will find that an enemy tried to destroy the church from the beginning. How to destroy the church. And now they are doing the same thing. Pastor Steinman just invited us to pray for the Iraq situation. You know, but not only Iraq, it's in different places around the world. The churches, they are facing some difficult times. But sometimes I think that the enemy is not too smart, because he tried to destroy buildings, and the church is not buildings. You know, barn buildings, make tractors, and I saw it. One church in my city, in the city where I've been pastor for 10 years, one man take a tractor, un tractor, big truck, and just, this is a wood church, very, no estable, no muy estable. Not very stable. So, and take the church and disappear the church, maybe in 30 minutes. What he don't realize was the community of that church was so blessed for that church that they raise resources and they build a new one, concrete, very quality. Go ahead. Come in. But let's see what Matthew 16:18 say about that. And I say also unto that to our Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gate of hell shall not prevail against it. 1 Timothy chapter 3 verse 15 say, but if I tarry long, that I too mayest, I don't know if I'm reading good or not, but you have the screen right there. Know how to oughtest to behave thyself in the house of God, which is the church of the living God, the pillar and ground of the truth. So there is a reason, a powerful first reason to love my church. Is because this is a powerful institution. It's a powerful institution. It's so powerful, everything this institution made because God purpose. So one day, I was talking with a man in my church saying that he was really busy. He's really busy. He's a businessman. He's a good guy, good father, but he's really, really busy, so he has no time to come and fellowship with our community of faith. And he said, Pastor, but you know, I had TV, I watch TV, I hear music, and you know, and I was trying to explain him how powerful it is to be together, how good is being a community of faith, how important it is for him to join his community of faith in the life. It's not only to hear alone about the good news, it's to be together, but learn together. So one day, somebody made a cookout, and we go out of the town, and we make a very, very delicious parrillada, steak, ¿cómo se dice? Carbón? Charcoal, with charcoal, and we put, beef and all the good things that maybe you are going to eat today. And when you are eating, remember, there is a Pastor Christian with a wife. I'm joking. Somebody provide food for us, our family. I want to thank. So we was cooking, and the Spirit of the Lord just bring me up a way to show him how powerful is the church. So I invite him, come here, and I just choose one of those red charcoals that you see there, really red with una pinza, with something. So he chose that one, the very red one, big one, strong one. Choose that one, say, okay, let's put right here, just far away of the fire. Is it still red? If you touch, you will burn. So, okay, that's good. Let's go and talk. We went to the swimming pool. We had fun. We drank soda. We played volleyball. We had very good time. After a while, we come back to the same place that we left that charcoal. And I told him, okay, let's see the charcoal again. And the charcoal in this place was really still burning, still red, hot. But that one was cold and dead. So I told him, you know why it's really important, the church for you? Because it's the way that you keep warm. So when you are in the community, the doors of health will know that if they only think about to be close of that, okay, they will shh. But if you are alone, cold, the enemy say, okay, he's ready to touch him, to move him, to take away for everything. The door of health know where the community is together. And then the door of health will never touch that because the fire of God will kill him. I love my church because it's a powerful institution. I love my church because God gives power to this institution. I love my church for that reason. I love my church because there is power in this building. I love my church because when I'm sick, somebody will hear the voice of God and move from their position to that position and begin to put their hand, and somebody will be an instrument to God to heal me in God. If you are in the TV, sitting in your couch, your $500 couch, you know what? Nobody will come out from the TV and touch you and heal you in the name of Jesus. But the community of faith is so powerful because somebody have her ears really in good direction with God and here, okay, go and pray and God will move it. It's powerful. It's powerful. It's powerful. It's so powerful. One day, maybe this is not to say, this is not good to say, but I will say it. But one day, when I was beginning in my church, I was 5 people paying tithes. You know, so the last pastor, he survived with 5 tithes. Good tithes, 5 tithes, so he don't care about the rest. So those people began to tell me what to say, what to say, okay. So, okay, and I say, you know what? The church is so powerful that the church don't need your money. Oh, really? We need it, you know. We need to pay light, gas, air conditioner, all that stuff. But it's so powerful that if you don't tithe, God will send from some others. God will send bread from heaven, water from the rock. God will do something. You know why? Because it's His church. It's not your church. It's not my church. It's God's church. It's God's building. It's God's Jesus body. It's powerful. So when I realized that, so how powerful is our church, I began to don't be worried about the money. So I began to worry about to preach the gospel, to heal, to restoration, to bring bread to the poor. So you know what? Suddenly the church was really good financially because we don't need it. We have God. I hope you understand the spirit of my words. Because if you are in the wrong direction, you are saying, okay, this pastor is telling some awful things. I'm telling you, I hope you feel the spirit of these words. I'm not telling somebody else that we don't need you. I'm telling you that it's so powerful that even without your money, God will keep doing something good with this church. So the first reason because I love my church is because it's a powerful institution. It's so powerful that the door of hell, they will think twice before to touch you. The second reason, and I will ask Sister Kathy's help, I want to show you the second reason in a short video.
What is the church? Is the church a building? Is the church a pastor? Or the staff? Is the church the music? The tradition? Or the ministries? These are all good things, but they are not the church. Take them away, and the church is still here. Why? Because you are still here. The church is you. The church is you with a purpose. The church is you on a mission. The church is you with a plan. A simple plan to plug into God at a weekend service, to charge up in a small group community, to live out using your gifts and passions, and to pass on your faith to those who do not know Christ. When you and I live like this, all the things we used to do in church become things we do as the church. God desires it. The world needs it. And we are called to be it. What is the church? The church is you.
Oh, but there is the beginning of a very interesting discussion. Because now you can find why there is failures in the church. And I have good news for someone or bad news for somebody else. There is failures, mistakes, failures in the church because you are here. Because I am here. There is a reason because there is problems in the church. But anyway, we still are the church. And because I love myself, I love my church. If because I take care of myself, I take care of myself, my church. Hebrews 3:6 say, "No, ye not that you are the temple of..." Okay, sorry. "But Christ as a son over his own house, whose house are we, if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm unto them." 1 Corinthians 3:16 say, "Know that you are the temple of God, and the Spirit of God," I have no idea how to pronounce that, "dwelleth in you." Okay, this is a very interesting version. One day, one single word changed my life and my conception about my complaining about the presence of God in the church. That's the day when Moses go to the mountain because a bruise was burning, and he was walking into that. And this is a very, very long sermon that I preached 3 weeks ago. But there is only one thing that I want to invite you to think about. Is when Moses asked God for his name. What is your name? And that's interesting. Because for the Jews, the Hebrew people, to have the name is really important. Because the name gives you authority, gives you destiny, gives you a beginning, and gives you an end. Understand me? This is, for that reason, it's really important for them to know the name, to have name. They choose really time. A lot. They invest too much time thinking about their name for their kids because that. So, if God just gave him a name, will give him a beginning and an end. So, and God used this way to answer Moses' question. And he said, Yod Hey, Bad Hey. This is not English, not bad English. I'm not speaking English. You're thinking, okay, he's speaking English? He's speaking English? No, I'm not speaking English now. That was the early Hebrew that without vowels. Without vowels. The Hebrew that you and me know had vowels. Okay, this is a long history. I don't understand too much about that, so don't worry about that. But this Hebrew have this word, Yod Hey Bad Hey, was the answer to Moses when he asked for God's name. So, our King James Version right now translate that for I am who I am. It's that good. But if you take off the vowels of that word, it's the same road for the word breath. It's the same. It's so amazing that what I received that day, when I understand that, is that, who are you, God? What is your name? God was telling Moses, I am in every single breath that you take. So, that means that my presence, that myself, my essence, is not only in those services when, the music is so anointing, or when the sermon is so powerful, or when something happened, when a miracle just has done. No. My presence is right there when you take a breath. So the presence of God is right now in your life. When you are driving, when you are cooking, when you are working, the presence of God is in your life. When you breathe, there is God. There is God. I love my church because I love myself. If you know why I love myself, because maybe I don't have too much money in this wallet right now. Maybe I don't have the key of our super brand new car. Maybe somebody gave me this wherever. Somebody gave me this pen. And this is true. This is some gift. This is something funny, But maybe everything that I carry on now have no value, But you know what I love myself? Because I carry on the presence of God. I am the presence of God carrier. That's make me important. Then I love my church because I love myself. I love my kids. I love my family. Because I love this institution, this powerful institution, then I love my church too. Because I love myself. You are not going in the life, complaining by yourself about yourself all the time. Oh, how bad I am. Oh, how tall I am. Oh, how bad I smell. Oh, you are not going to life, or you are. No, you're not. Sometimes you complain about yourself, but there is a moment that you stop about to complain about yourself, because you take care of yourself. You go to the shower. You go to the mirror. Sometimes you lie yourself. I'm so handsome. And you are so handsome and brown and all that lies. But you love yourself. And you are the temple of God. You are the temple of the Spirit of the Lord. So if tomorrow we grow and we decide to sell this building, and to buy a bigger one, another one, new one, this house can become a discotheque, can become something else, a restaurant, wherever. Because the church is a church because I am here, because you are here. I love my church because it's a powerful institution. And I love my church because I love myself. I love myself because I have something really powerful in my life. The same that you have, the presence of mighty God. The last reason because I decide to love my church, this is so powerful, is in Ephesians 5:25. 26. 26 and 25, 26. 25 say, husband, love your wife. Okay. For the next series, pastor will maybe talk about how the wife have to love their husband and the love and the. But now, I want you put your approach, your focus in the second part of the verse. Say, husband, love your wife, even as Christ loved the church and gave himself for it. You know, Brother Rose, why I love my Father's house? Because Jesus loved my Father's house. You know why I love this church? Because God loved this church. How can God love this church with so many problems? I cannot answer you that question, but let me tell you something. I can answer you one for sure. Anyway, God loved us. God loved this church. And his love is not only words. The Bible says he gave himself for it. I love my church. And this church became my church in the day when I was in the sky with David Richards in maybe May 2013. And we was talking about to accept the call of God, to be obedient. And when my wife and me would say, yes, in that moment, this church became my church. And in the beginning, some people ask me in Ecuador, Christian, somebody told me this. I don't know if it will make sense to you in English, but make sense in Spanish. Say, Christian, are you seriously going to leave your church and go there? Because a very famous wisdom Hispanic phrase say that it's better to be mouse hair, cabeza de ratón, the head of a mouse, que la cola de un león, what the tail of the lion. Right here, you had a 400-member church, and you are maybe in South America, third world, but you are the head of the mouse. And right there, yes, you are going to America, but you are going to be the tail of the lion. But do you know what I receive? It's not about positions. It's about the purpose. I know that, yes, I miss sign checks for my secretary. I fail to call my secretary to do this. I miss that, things. But I miss more my food, maybe. But when I come here and I worship with you, and somebody needs prayer, and somebody asks me to pray for me, I forget about that. And I say, this is my church. This is my church. It's not about positions. It's about purpose. It's not about that you are this and you are that and you are this, you are more important for that. No, we are a church. We are the church, the Jesus Christ church. And I love my church because Jesus loved my church. This is the beginning of a series. This is the beginning of something that our desire. Do you want to hear our desire, pastor and the staff desire with this? It's not increase. This is assuring. We have 2 staff meetings. And the desires about this is not about to increase our membership or increase our money or increase our influence. God knows that this is not in our table to talk. The reason because we are at the beginning of this series that we call I Love My Father's House is because we need to increase the fellowship between us. You need to understand that the people is beside you is part of the same body that you are. It's really important. You know what? When you feel a really terrible pain in your hand, right here, the pain, your mouth began to move when you had to pray. Oh, Lord, heal me. You know why? Because the mouth understands that the hand is important for him. And the hand has something a little big, a little tiny, maybe a little rough, a little, people different. A little tiny, and they all are important. So, I know that this sermon maybe is not the more excitement sermon that you hear. Maybe it's not the more powerful revelation that you receive. But believe me, this sermon comes from God's heart, for your pastor's heart, for my heart, from our hearts, to tell you, maybe you are not in the biggest church in America. Maybe you are not in the richest church in America. Maybe you are not in the church with the more luxury building in America. But you are in the best community of faith that God can bring for you. And we love you, we need you, and we appreciate every single thing that you do to build this church. Because when you are building this church, you are building yourself. When you are building this church, you are telling Jesus, we are in the same direction because I love what you love. I give, maybe not the same thing that you gave, but I am in that direction. And what happened last Wednesday for me was powerful. Last Wednesday, we talked about that as a church, we need to make agreements. And I will need Jeremy right here, please. This is something really, I want to take this testimony again. One day, Sister April, she was facing some tribulations. And God put in my heart to go with her and invite her and ask her to let me join her for a fasting time for her purpose. And so we fast, we pray, we be together. God began to do something, and that's it, good. A couple of weeks later, I was facing some bad situations. And I was dealing with that good, some calls, some good things, some advice, prayers. But one night, I went to my Facebook, and I opened my mailbox. It was a mail from her telling me, Pastor Christian, can you let me join you in a fasting day for your tribulation? This is the church when we make agreements. Because sometimes it's so heavy, Sister Susie, to hold by ourselves. Something is so heavy. We need to make agreements. Maybe right now you are facing situations that taking out your peace. Is stealing your peace. And yes, you are praying. Yes, you are, declaring. Yes, you are believing. Oh, but your heart desire that somebody can say, I share this heavy thing with you. That is the reason because the church is so powerful, Sister Sissy. So, yes. Maybe, I don't know if God's going to make an altar call right now, but there is some burning in your house, in your heart, right now. Maybe pastor is, or maybe I'm going to say, okay, let's come to the altar, pray, and I will pray, pray for one. Oh, Lord, touch him, but the time is, and because when I began to the last person, I spent 5 minutes praying for that, and I spent 25 seconds for this one. And for some reason, that I forget, or I don't see that one and leave. But you know what happened when somebody of the crowd, no positions, he's not senior pastor, he's not Hispanic pastor, he's not secretary, he's not a singer, he's just a member of the body. Just come to you and say, can I give you my shoulder? Can I share with you this heavy thing? It's the same power. So when the doors of hell see that unity, oh, he don't want to touch you, because he say, if I touch this, how you say carbon? Charcoal. It's so red, and they are together. I say, oh! Church, if you don't love my Father's house, don't let the Baptist church, the Pentecostal church, come and love this church. You are here, not because we need your money, not because we need, fill the spaces. You are here because God brings you here to build a powerful community of faith.